our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hello, friends. I'm Kent Skelton, and I'm so glad you are here. Together we can battle this struggle and find freedom from it all. Life is continuous, and it would be ridiculous to say that you or I don't experience those seconds, minutes, hours, or days that seem like they'll never end. Time continues on, regardless of how we feel or what we experience. We search, longingly for a way to handle and navigate through these situations we are experiencing. There has to be a way. Surely I can find the solution to get rid of these negative experiences and periods of despair I am feeling. Maybe it's not our own problems, but those of family members or loved ones that are living in pain. These pains may come from alcoholism, addictions, illness, grief, boredom, and in so many other forms. What will we do? Where is that light I'm supposed to be able to see at the end of the tunnel? When will I see it? When will this end? The timing to realize you need help is up to each of us. That's you, that's me. We are each individually accountable for ourselves. We have to make the change, and the timing is now. There's no time like the present to desire and begin that road to recovery. Together, let's reach that freedom from struggle.
Hello.
Hey.
Today we are talking about not letting the waves keep knocking you down. Do you ever have any problems with waves knocking you down? Today we're going to discuss several ways that maybe you can avoid them. Maybe you can jump out of the water, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. We're here on the Freedom from Struggle show today. My name's Kent and our co-host Eva. Good afternoon, Eva.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Good.
Glad you're here.
Hey, I did my miles today. I'm feeling fabulous.
That's awesome. And I'd mentioned a little earlier, I'm probably a couple pounds heavier in the seat today. One of those things that I struggle with is maybe trying to clean my plate up too cleanly while I'm sitting there at the table. But we ate a great seafood platter already today, man. If I start dozing off, just shove me, say just something real loud, I'll wake up.
No problem.
Hey, Freedom from Struggle, we're a show that I kind of base it off of Celebrate Recovery, as I'm a leader at our local church, First Baptist Church in Biloxi. And it's a place where anyone can go. It's for, it's not just for alcoholics or addicts, maybe you want to say that, or people that are suffering mental health type issues. It's for anyone with any type of hurt, habit, or hang up. And I'm just thankful to be a part of that and to be able to share some of the things we do in Celebrate Recovery right here on the Freedom from Struggle podcast. But we'll get into that in a few minutes. But Eva, you ever caught yourself maybe being stuck with the tide just keeps coming in, the waves keep coming
Yeah.
in?
Yeah, for sure.
I
For
know I
sure.
have. I definitely know I have. And sometimes, we sit there and say, well, get out of the water. Get out of the water. The waves will stop knocking you down.
Well, can't we be like little kids sometimes and jump the waves?
Oh, that's fun. That's
Right?
fun.
Remember
And
doing
hey,
that?
that
That's
might be
fun.
having good balance. You're just
Yeah.
thinking that might be a way of having good balance. Or good, good posturing yourself, experiencing those waves and kind of avoiding them in a sense while still having a good time, okay? And enjoying yourselves, but not having a bad foundation. And a lot of that comes from a good foundation, making good decisions. I know, wow, decisions. A lot of times they sneak up on us, and it's hard to make the right decisions if we're not in the right frame of mind or if our heart's not right.
Right.
And I don't know what's some ways. Can you think of a few ways you might other ways? Let's say I said get out of the water. You said jump up, jump over the waves like a kid.
Yeah.
What else?
You can swim through it.
You can swim through it. You can be
Yeah.
trained for it. Be trained for it.
Yeah. I mentioned there was a couple of weeks ago on one of our podcasts, there was a church song that we had, like in Sunday school, and it was
Right.
I'm going on a bear hunt. Remember doing that?
Yes.
And you're on the trail, and there's a stump. Can't go around it. Can't go. Remember all of the? I
I
don't
know.
remember
Yeah,
all
I
of the words,
recall it.
but
Yeah.
but but that's so applicable for life, though.
There's obstacles.
Yeah,
There's
always gonna be
always
up.
little obstacles in the
Yeah,
way. And it doesn't, I sit there and say wave. I think that's a good way you think about it. You're sitting there, even though you're in shallow water, you might be, calf deep, knee deep in the water where you're safe. Okay. But when the waves start coming in, they make you lose your balance.
I'm laughing because last summer I took Dad to Virginia Beach, right?
Yes.
And those waves on the Atlantic side, and because some of those waves are coming in from the ships that are passing
Yeah.
through.
The large
Yeah,
weight.
the large,
Weight.
big ships. And I lost footing, and I have a bad back, so I had to all right, Eve, it's time to get back out because I didn't want to fall. And even though I was in the water, I didn't want to fall and get hurt. And you just have to know when it's time to get up and out of the way.
Right.
Yeah.
You can get over your head so fast
Oh, for
in
sure.
life in so many ways. And that could be get over your head in your finances. You can get over your head in eating right. And
Yep.
especially if you're not
Time.
if you're not in the right mindset.
Well, sometimes it's just saying no
A lot of
and
times it's
time
just saying
management,
no.
right? It's
Yes.
time
Yes.
management. How many of us overcommit to things? And I probably am very guilty of that because
Right.
I am involved in a lot of stuff. But
Right.
then it comes back to the time management side to accomplish those things and then realize, all right, what can I reschedule? What can I go back to the person and say, hey, I'm sorry, I don't have time. Can I reschedule this? Because I want to do, let's say, going on a hike with somebody.
Right.
I just need to reschedule. I need a down day if you don't mind.
Right. Right. That's so true. That's so true. And as you were thinking about that, I was kind of thinking about an analogy with the waves. You know what I mean? That waves like time. You've got something going on, and
Uh,
then you haven't planned your time exactly right. Well, guess what? Time keeps on ticking.
yep.
Those waves keep on coming in,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you lose your footing. You're caught up in that wave, and wait, I need to be doing something else. So it can
Yeah.
throw you off. And
It
in the
can.
same way, I think about those waves. I mean, there's some people that can truly have a few drinks, have a drink with dinner. They can have a few drinks here and there. And then there are those that can't.
Right.
because that wave comes in. And all of a sudden, that wave of drinks, and you just keep drinking, and they keep coming in, and you keep getting pulled out to sea in a sense, and pulled out to sea. And when there's an undertow, if you know how that works, I believe most people in our audience understand how that works. And that undertow can pull us out. Then all of a sudden, we are over our head,
right,
in high water, or we're over our head in our drinking habit, or maybe our addiction, and even in our thinking when it comes to depression, when it comes to anxiety. All of a sudden, hey, we're letting this stuff get the best of us, and it's better to be able to get back on firm ground and be aware of your surroundings, because so many times when those waves, you see, I think going out in the water a little bit, maybe to my knees or to my thighs, and these waves are coming up, and depending, obviously some days they're not as hard as the next day.
Oh, right.
Because of the moon, the tidal flow's not as strong. The wind, the weather, that has everything to do with that, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But so, some days, yes, that ankle deep, that calf deep or knee deep is not a problem. Other times you need to step back. Okay. And this is thinking about anxiety overcoming you. Okay. Is what I'm trying to describe here. So some days it's not really bothering me at all, but some days it's coming up to the knees. Some days it's that stronger flow, that stronger, it's tidal surge that's hitting you. But if I'm back, if I'm only ankle deep, and the sand's not slipping out from under you, you can always keep your head. You can keep your mind.
Right.
Oh, look, as those waters are still coming up to you, you're ankle deep, you're firm, you got a good balance. Oh, look, the dolphins are jumping over here to the left, and you can be around your surroundings. Oh, the salt air, the wind that I can feel hitting on my body, or the sun beaming down on my skin. You can feel these different things. You can see, you can hear, and you can kind of get a grip. You can keep a grip on your emotions, your thoughts, with not getting pulled under.
Here's one for you though, Red. How about the boogie board aspect of it? Sometimes there's a false sense of security with the boogie board out there when, it's helping keep you floating for a while. But when you don't have your boogie board available, I'm kind of using this analogy of thinking like God as a boogie board, that what if you don't have your boogie board suddenly available?
Yeah.
Or the binging side of it, that you get overwhelmed with things. So things seem seem okay for a while, but when that big wave hits, and that's that binge side of things, then that's a whole different kind of problem, and you lose your footing.
Hey, look at this. And Eva, I know this wasn't planned, but what a nice time, okay, to transition, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm fixing to transition. I'm going to transition to a set of slides that we often go through and celebrate recovery. And today we're going to look at the first 2 or 3 of the principles in recovery. And these principles, they apply in the 12 faith-based steps of Celebrate Recovery, or the 8 principles in Celebrate Recovery, just like they do in Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. And so I'm going to put this up here, real quick. And we're going to recall that thought that you were just sharing, okay? But here's the big deal. We're going to go to our commercial break, our first commercial break, and just a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with you. Then we'll dip into these principles. It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive, luxury-included, adults-only resorts. Or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow 247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Military Broadcast Radio, giving veterans a voice. Doesn't get no better than that. I love it. Eva, that analogy you just used where you were talking about the boogie board, can you just say that one more time? Just a little quick review of it.
Yeah, so it was really kind of the aspect of we have this sense of security with having the boogie board and keeping us afloat. And what if you get knocked away from the boogie board? And so that sense of security is suddenly not there. And what do? It's just not having that something there that keeps you afloat.
Right. And that's where I thought about, oh, what a nice transition into Celebrate Recovery.
Yeah.
The first principles is realizing I'm not God, admitting that I'm powerless to control my tendency to do the wrong thing, that my life has become unmanageable. And in Matthew 5:3 in the Bible, it says, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And then when I sit there, when I think about that, I'm like, hey, we're not in control. If you don't have that boogie board with you, you're not in control. You can sink. In the same way, when we are in our daily lives and say, just for instance, with the alcoholic, someone like myself, I realize, wait a minute, I'm not God, and I'm powerless to control my tendency to drink. Okay. And because of that, I become intoxicated and my life becomes unmanageable. And how true that is, just so true right there. And wow, I mean, really, that applies, and that can apply towards, I just used the analogy with alcoholism, but it can do with drugs, it can do with your thought patterns, your mental health.
Gambling is a big thing.
Gambling, grief, low self-esteem.
Yep. How about work challenges, toxic work environments?
Work challenges. Codependency. There's so many areas.
Just any other relationship problems. There are a lot of people that are struggling. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it affects. It can be all over the place. Just same way it was a sin. And I mean, then we're talking about, much deeper, a little bit of everything and anything, that we do as humans, it can be considered sin. I mean, we really have to stay on a narrow path so we don't get sidetracked. Even in good, clean fun, sometimes we can get a little over, laughing, joking around, and can start getting onto some slippery paths where the conversation completely changes. Hey, let's go have a drink. We'll talk a little bit more about this, and then all of a sudden, it really gets out of hand.
Well, here's one for you. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were asking about something, and they said, well, but you can tell a little white lie. And I was like, no, I can't, because it's that slippery slope. I wouldn't feel comfortable with myself to tell that little white lie. That's just not me. I'm not comfortable doing that.
Well, Eva, when you say that, I heard it was actual Bible study that I heard just several days ago. And that little white lie, well, that's a little white lie.
No, you know what?
Lie. That's a lie. It's a lie.
If you know that it's not right, then
if it's not the truth, it's a lie.
Yeah.
And if it's a little white lie, it's the same thing as a lie. And that makes you, in all essence, a liar.
Yep.
And we're not supposed to be liars.
That's right.
That's not why we were created.
Yep.
Going into the second principle, it says, earnestly believe that God exists and I matter to him and that he has the power to help me recover. And Matthew 5:4 says, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. And I know in my life, Yeah, I fail. Okay, I will say I fail. Okay, I fall short of the glory of God so often. But if we do constantly choose to commit our whole life to include not lying, not telling that little white lie, to slipping on that slippery
Yep.
slope.
Yep.
Well, if we're allowing him to we're committing our life and our will to his control. Look, we're not going to be telling a little white lie.
Right.
We can't. It's not possible.
But you know, Red, that's where it's kind of like I want to say the moral injury side, where if we're accepting that a white lie is okay,
Right.
and but we have to live with ourselves, then we're causing that own internal moral injury that makes us want to find these escapes because we're harming ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go. Let's take a look at the third principle. And this is as we're sitting here thinking about not letting that wave continuously knock ourselves down.
Yep.
Okay, look, that wave, you consider that wave is the alcohol, the drugs, the negative thoughts, all that negative vibes, negative power, everything else. In principle 3, it says to consciously choose to commit all my life and my will to Christ's care and control. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth, is written in Matthew 5:5.
Yeah.
I mean,
Consciously is a big word. How many people here's an you like uh nature type symbolism, right?
oh, I
So
love nature. Yeah.
yeah, so there was I remember going to church one time, and the pastor was talking about his story going out, and he was fly fishing with a group of men. Now I'm a fly fisher. I fisherwoman. I don't know how do you say that. But anyways, I do fly fishing also, and I didn't understand the context until I mean I've gone fishing off of a boat, off of a pier, and stuff like. But there is something different about it being in the river. And so the pastor was talking about, there was a group of the guys were over on this side, they were kind of downstream a little bit, and they were catching fish right and left, right and left. And the pastor was over here kind of by himself, and the guide came over and said, "So how are you doing?" And he goes, I just don't understand it. I'm doing the same thing that they're doing. I paid attention in class and everything, but I don't understand, what's going on. He goes, "So, well, what kind of glasses are you wearing?" Because you tend to wear sunglasses when you're out there fishing because of that
Right.
the light reflecting off of the water is kind of blinding. And so he said, well, are they Polaroids?" He goes, "Well, what does Polaroid have to do with it?" And he said, "Well, it has everything to do with it because you can see the fish swimming under the water better. It sparkles off of their scales and everything." And he goes, "Here, try my sunglasses." He put them on, and he didn't see any fish where he was fishing. He looked
Mm.
over there. He says, "Now come on, walk over here with me." The guide took him over there to where the guys were fishing and catching the fish. And he goes, "So what do you see now?" And he goes, "Oh man, I see them everywhere. Oh wow." He goes, Now I want you to pretend like when you're wearing your sunglasses like that now you're looking at life through God's vision.
Right.
He wants you to see that there are things out there and have discernment that you didn't know were there if you weren't looking at life through his lenses.
Yeah. Hey, listen, when you say that, I always remember and talking about and this is from doing I was doing a little ministry in a nursing home one time, and there were several individuals there that were blind, okay? There were
Hmm.
several people that were there just recovering from some type of surgical procedure where they
Yeah.
may not have been there that long. You know, I guess
Right.
what do they
Right.
call those swing bed like unit type things are there
Yeah, but you're still
just for
a
short
fall
rehabilitation.
risk.
Short
Yeah.
for yeah, that be at a fall risk and be
Yeah.
there for a short period of rehabilitation, and so many things. And when you mention that, when being able to see, um, you have all kinds that anytime you get a group, right? And one person
I'm sorry.
one person might not be able to see, but in all essence, they got the full picture. They understand everything so much better than the next person that's got 20/20 and
Right.
just doesn't have an understanding of life. You saw that comment that I saw
Yeah.
on there too. Share it with us, Eva. What did he say?
Yeah. So Joel is our producer. He commented in the chat and says, "You guys go together like peas and carrots." I'm sorry. Thanks, Joel.
Just like peas and
So not two
carrots.
peas in a pod. We're peas
There
and
might be
carrots.
two peas in a pod. There you go. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help but
Hey,
laugh. When I saw
I knew. Hey, I just saw that a comment, and anyway, so I was like, I knew right where you were going when you started kind of giggling.
Thanks, Joel.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, he is the big manager. He's the mentor here
Yeah.
in military broadcast radio, and we thank him for everything he does for each and
Oh, for
every one of
sure.
us.
None of this would be possible
Listen,
without
and he
him and Amber
I
and
love how he always
man.
says, "Man, you've come so far." I remember when the first time I talked to you, the first time he came in the studio, you didn't even know how to press a button in here, or this or that. I had to coach you around. Well, I was that
Are you
blind
sure
guy.
you knew how to turn the computer on?
I don't even know how to do that. Maybe maybe my grandson did that for me. But I was blind. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. It was all new to me. And that's the same way with a new person comes into you know
Celebrate.
um where they're realizing what they're really struggling. Some people struggle and they're not even realizing they're in a struggle. They
Yeah.
consider it normal, Eva. This is the only
Well,
as I've grown up, this is the only way I've ever known.
yeah, I have a guest that's coming on my show today. She's a friend of mine. We went hiking this morning and I said, there's a lot of instances. Think about it. Jesus even did it when he was, talking to God. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. They just don't know what they don't know. They grow up in some very toxic environments. They don't know that there's a different way to do life. And sometimes they grow up around alcohol and think that it's normal, but in the wrong person, it's a poison, you know?
Yes. Yes. Hey, look, you mentioned that. We're already at the half hour here. We've been on the air for about 27,
I
28
know.
minutes. What we're
Yeah.
going to do real quick, we're going to have we're going to listen to a beautiful song, a song about Americans, okay? About the red, white, and blue. And we're going to listen to that. But everyone, I want you to stand by for right after that song's over. We're going to bring a special announcement for an event that we're going to be having for all our veterans, for people that may be out there in the podcast land that love veterans. Maybe they have a son or daughter that's a veteran, or maybe they have a parent that was a veteran, or maybe they're just a first responder also, or have a family member in one of those. And everybody's invited. No one is uninvited to this event, but we're going to play that in just a minute. And then when we come back, just because of what you said, we're going to transition into our next thought when you were talking about Jesus saying, forgive them.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back with you, folks. We appreciate you being here on Military Broadcast Radio. We're giving veterans a voice. Enjoy this little tune.
It's the guts and it's the glory 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Front line, Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. He's Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Join Military Broadcast Radio and Fairway Travel for the 2025 Veterans Day Cruise aboard Carnival Vista. We will embark on a 6-day Eastern Caribbean cruise November 9th through 15th from Port Canaveral. Are you ready to relax, explore, celebrate? This is a voyage you don't want to miss. Destinations include Amber Cove, Half Moon Cay, and the all-new Celebration Key. Delight in the Dominican Republic's Amber Cove with stunning beaches and island vibes. Enjoy Half Moon Cay, known as a private Bahamian paradise. And finally, a day at Celebration Key, Carnival Cruise Line's exclusive new getaway. Honor the heroes in your life with an unforgettable cruise experience this Veterans Day at Sea. Fairway Travel will handle all the planning so you can focus on making memories. Call Fairway today, 228-365-3480, or email fonda@fairwaytravel.com or red@mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Wow, that looks like a trip, Red.
Hey, what about all of that? Coffee. They're talking about coffee. I think Joel is going to be having him as a guest here on MBR.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I saw that too. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe if he's listening or one of the other folks that knows might post that in the comments so other people will get that news.
Isn't it? I think it's looks like coming up this week, right?
I believe it's this week. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it's Monday, if it's Friday, which day, or if it's on
I don't
I'm not
know.
sure what
Joel, if
show
you're
it's on.
listening, put the deets in the details.
With the deets in the comments.
Yep.
Okay. Now we say that. Okay. Then, hey, man, I tell you what, I am excited about this Veterans Day cruise. Okay. I've already been on one of the Veterans Day cruises on Veterans Day, last Veterans Day. Okay.
Right.
Which was the first one I was with, and a group of veterans came with me. Okay.
Right.
But I've been on them before. Carnival Cruise Lines does a salute to the heroes on every voyage they do. Okay. And
They're
it's always really
phenomenal
good.
supporting
But
veterans.
to be special, to be over the Veterans Day week, and to be honored and see your fellow veterans and fellow first responders, even to go down to teachers, civil servants, everybody honored at the same time.
Yeah.
Man, it is a joyous occasion, and it'll have your hairs raised up. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen tears. Believe me, I've seen the tears, and just that camaraderie of people getting together is phenomenal.
Oh, and then you see each other.
And they give you they give you a pin.
They give you a pin. Yes, they
Yeah.
do. And I mean, it's a neat thing to be part of, and you come into contact with so many other veterans, because after you go to that thing and the people you see there, all of a sudden you
know
start
them on
seeing
the
them
ship?
everywhere around the ship.
That's
Hey,
right.
that guy's a Navy veteran. That guy's a Marine Corps. This guy was in such and such.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it's pretty neat. I was there one time.
I don't know if I'll get to participate in it, because
you'll be there.
No, because I'm usually organizing and being a part of a Veterans Day ceremony at my job.
Oh, okay.
So right. Yeah, I want to be there.
We need to train. You got a lot of time. We need to train somebody to do that for you this coming year.
I know.
You know what I mean? Tell them, say, I have to be at another event with Military Broadcast Radio. But anyway, look, when we transition, you made that comment, which where you said that Jesus, and it was, you seen it in the Bible, or the pastor was preaching about it, and where Jesus says, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Yeah. Okay, and I want to share this real quick. We had looked at a few of those principles already, but and this step one, these are the steps here. It says, but in step one, you admit you're powerless over our addictions, lives have become unmanageable. And then in two, we the step, believe that a higher power can help you. And these are right in line with the principles. But this third step is turning your will and life over to the higher power. That higher power is God.
Right.
That higher power is God, and he sent his son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross. And while yet he was dying on the cross, and in a prayer to his Father, he's asking the Father, because all these people have him up on the cross, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
You know,
and that's why he was powerful. And that's why he was there.
You know why I'm slow to anger?
Throughout creation, Eva, this is what it was leading up to this moment.
That's right. But we can apply that in our lives. But we can apply that in our lives when we think that we're getting angry about somebody or something.
Yeah.
You know, especially somebody if we think we're being harmed. And if we just kind of take in that moment and kind of mimic, Jesus taught us what to do as a human, and just pray to God, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I mean, that helps us to not absorb that negativity, and let Jesus take the wheel on it.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. I'm going to try to pull something else up here in just a minute. but not the show on there, but to put in the comments. It's going to be a few minutes probably before I can actually get all that up there. When when you got different things on your screen, you're
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
sitting there like, oh, okay, let me find this, let me find that. With maybe I'll just have to find it during our next little music that we hear, and the word from the sponsor, and little military broadcast radios deal. Look, we're blessed. I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. Okay.
Oh, I'm
And
blessed
I
too.
can speak for so many other people. We're blessed. One thing, by being in the military, being able to be a veteran, having that opportunity just to be a veteran, but more so even now, being able to be on this platform, being able to
Have your
to
voice.
help give military veterans a voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to let everybody know we love having people to interview, people to come on program with us. You don't have to be a podcast host, just come be our guest. And you can be a guest verbally, or right here, right next to me and Eva, right between us, all right, here or there. And we'd love to have you on here. Let us hear your voice. Let us hear your story. And there's so many different shows we have on board. With MBR, Military Broadcast Radio, there is something that is bound to appeal to everyone. Okay.
Yep.
And
You're going on the road figuratively with me in March, right?
right.
That is going to be fun. We're doing something. I like being a bit edgy sometimes.
Right.
So I'm going to Spain. I'm gonna go on the Camino again, the Camino de Santiago. If y'all haven't heard about that, it's a phenomenal hiking experience. Hiking's my land thing. Scuba diving's my water thing. But Red's gonna co-host with me as I give some feedback of what my lessons learned from the Camino had been.
She's gonna be across the pond. How long will you be there? How long does that take?
Yeah. So it's usually flying overnight and landing about 6ish, Spain time. I fly into Madrid, and I'm not gonna tootle around Madrid this time. I have some pictures from the last time, but I haven't really explored Madrid before. But I'm gonna go ahead and go to Astorga and get a good night's sleep and hit the trail the next day. So that's March 15th through the 27th. Yeah, hit the trail literally. 15th to the 27th.
So that's 12 days.
Yeah.
And how many miles will you be covering a day, Eva?
That's going to be about 15 miles a day with a pack on. I will. My girlfriend's in with me last year. I was the everything packer.
Oh, really?
For every contingency. I had way too much on my pack.
So you're telling me you learned something from your first trip?
Oh yeah,
just on that aspect.
Yeah, but I'm not paying for the shuttle service, the carrier shuttle service this time. I'm going very low key. I'll stay in the albergues, and I think I'm doing it because my birthday is March 20th, and
okay.
This is my happy birthday to me.
All right.
If anybody knows anything about my story, I really almost died on my 22nd birthday and MPT'd my car. So, you think about those waves that things happen in our lives. There are things that do impact us. And I'm giving back to myself by hitting the trail and celebrating that I'm and in a way that I think keeps me centered with God, that we're always going to be challenged in life with things that happen, and to just keep putting one foot in front of the other going down the trail.
Right.
So could be the waves, could be the trail, but it's not always going to be easy, but it's how we react to it.
Right. Look, let me I want to ask you, I was going to ask you, when you talk about that, you're going to be having future trips on that also, right? And
Oh, for sure.
you're planning to do this again and taking other individuals with you.
Absolutely. Last year I had 5 ladies join me,
Okay.
and that I had my spreadsheet, and I was spreadsheet heaven tracking all of that. But I think everything worked out pretty well. Definitely don't want to do the Soria to Santiago hiking trip for any less than 6 days. We did an aggressive 5 days, and not
Right.
everybody is on the same hiking pace. So, and I'm obviously willing to work with people who have different abilities as well. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah,
But
but it's
go ahead.
no, there are different portions of the different paths, different caminos that you can go on that go into Santiago as well.
Right. That's what I thought. There was a
Yeah.
lot of different ones.
Yeah, there's
that,
Portugal, there's the North Route. I'm doing part of the Frances. So I haven't done the whole thing, but that'll be my retirement goal, is to do the whole thing from SJPP to Santiago de Compostela.
to what, to where?
It's a place called Santiago de Compostela.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten the actual name of that. And
Yeah.
it's easy for me to do that. You know what I mean?
No, but you know what? I'm treating myself when I get there this time. And even if I have to taxi a day to make sure I can get my days in order, I'm
Right.
going to go ahead and take an excursion to from Santiago to Fister.
Right.
And that's if you know anything about that area, that's where they thought the edge of the earth was.
Right.
So you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about?
Yes.
There's a movie that I found out about the Camino Santiago is called The Way. And Charlie Sheen that's the dad, right? Charlie Sheen? Yeah. Charlie Sheen and stars in it, and Emilio Estevez is his son. He directs it.
Right.
So watch the movie The Way, and they're working on a number 2 version.
Oh, really?
Where they pick up at where it ends. It's a really, really good movie.
Right.
Highly recommend. It's just very well made. So that's how I found out about the Camino Santiago. And
Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I appreciate you sharing that. Look, it's time for us to have another little song we're here, and it's the Soldier's Prayer. I hope everyone enjoys it. Here we go.
"60 years went rolling by. It was here we said goodbye. The war was brewing, it was extreme. We were only teens. I knew the day I died, all alone, my brand new bride. Our favorite song would be a sign I'd be back in time. So raise a flag with pride and grace. I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, both sides say I'm a soldier of the USA. You weren't alone all these years. Seen you cry, I know your tears. You raised our child and a family, all without me. You've done well with your life, lots of friends by your side. I heard a nightly secret prayer, I was always there. So raise a flag with pride and grace. I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, Both sides say I'm a soldier of the USA. Now it's time, my lovely wife, to bring you home and say goodnight. Close your eyes to our favorite song. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? One day we'll come back in time for those we leave behind. But for now, we'll watch them grow. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hello, Eva. We're back.
Hey.
Hey, we had mentioned that little cruise that we were talking about, the Veterans Day
Yep.
Cruise.
What were those dates again?
Are you gonna put them in the comments for us?
I'd love to put them in the comments.
it's
I'm
gonna
just
be
thinking
November-
somebody is going to want to know.
It's gonna be November 9th
Okay.
through I believe it's the 16th,
Okay.
2025,
Okay.
aboard the Carnival Vista, and we haven't actually shown the price on there. We had a couple people asking, so hey, is this free? Well, no, it's not actually free. All the information you receive is free about it, but we have the numbers there on the video, and you can always email me, and I am Red. I'm type that in right now, Red at mbradio.us. Okay, and you can always email me for more information about the cruise. If you watch the video, you'll see the flyer running about, and it actually has that in there. The reason the price isn't okay, it starts as low as probably $499 a person. Okay, maybe even a little bit cheaper, but some people like myself, okay, or Eva, say yourself, you've cruised a lot with Carnival. That means you have
we have a status.
You got a status with them. You're a VIFP. You're a very important, fun person.
Yep.
As far as Carnival is concerned,
You can be a red or blue or whatever those color statuses are.
Just because of your loyalty to the brand, they do offer you specials, and so one person's specials, your specials might be a little different from my specials, and that could be because of the time of the year, just with their market, the way they market. So if anyone has already sailed with Carnival, you'll definitely need to make sure you get up with me and get me your VIP number. Right. And if you don't know it, I can always find it. As long as I got your name and birthday, I can pull it up myself. But I can tell you every offer that Carnival will offer you for that voyage. Yeah. And the rooms are based on double occupancy.
And those packages you get. Ooh.
Oh man, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to
the packages of your extra packages that you add on are the parts that cost the more money.
Oh yeah, right. The excursions, because you're going to do this and do that, and who knows? I mean, when you get on board, you might decide, hey man, I really like these folks right here. I'm going to hang with my podcast host, because we want to have as many of the military broadcast radio host on this voyage as we can get, because we're talking about, as already talked about, doing some are we gonna
live? We'll go live from
running some shows remote from somewhere in the ocean, from somewhere at sea. The exact location unknown. but no, that's what the plan is. And
That sounds fun.
oh man, I'm looking forward to
And
it.
we're all gonna have our matching shirts on. I'm still waiting for mine to come in the mail.
Hey, and I'm
but,
sure
yeah.
you talk about the red ones.
Yeah,
Well, look,
yeah.
no, we'll even have to get some other shirts for the cruise. You know what I'm saying? A t-shirt or some
The
sort.
T-shirts, yeah.
Everybody has the opportunity
We'll
to
have
purchase.
our dot
Maybe we'll have
card
some
code on
drawings
there.
for maybe we'll have a drawing for some shirts here and there, you know, to give out to folks.
Yep.
And I've got some good information that I'm going to be providing the other podcast hosts here in the next 2 or 3, 4 days. And they're going to be able to share with all their audiences and the others out in podcast land. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with them because it's a way that we can kind of grow and
for sure.
more
Just
firmly
the
knit
camaraderie
together
of it.
and have more camaraderie than just, oh, I have a show after, or Eva, I have the show after
Yeah,
Red.
because we haven't met in person. A lot of us have not met in person. So
I have not met one single person that
In
has one of the
person.
52 shows on Military Broadcast Radio in person. But I feel like I know 3/4 of them, you know, just like a best friend,
yeah.
which is pretty cool, you know?
Well, yeah, because we've gotten to know each other, you know. I mean, I know you and Jose.
We definitely know
and
we definitely know a lot about each other and our tendencies and some of our real
Hang-ups? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I was talking about some of our talents.
Oh,
Some
for sure. We have some great talent.
Are areas that we're very strong at. And I tell you what, we have some hosts that are very strong at multiple talents.
Yeah.
I've seen that. And I tell you what, I think that just comes from our background and stuff like that, you know. And
well, we got to remember we have our radio side too, you know. They are awesome at doing
yeah, and they're
stuff.
the DJs are included as the host also. Yeah, I'm thinking of them too. Although
we'll get them down there by the pool area, and maybe we'll get Carnival to let the DJs do some DJing. That would be pretty.
You never know.
I'm throwing ideas out there. It's gonna happen.
Listen up, Carnival. Listen up, Carnival.
Here's our wish list.
Military Broadcast Radio is coming aboard.
There's H Train. Peas and carrots again.
Peas and carrots.
Peas and carrots. Are you hungry? Maybe he's hungry. He's
Eva, I am just glad he hasn't talked about what else did Mama said. Oh, that was Waterboy. Never mind.
I don't know.
I think Waterboy said maybe it was Forrest Gump. Stupid is as stupid does.
I don't know. I don't
know, but I do know that life is like a box of chocolates.
It is.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Did you ever have in school where you know? Sorry, they went over my head. Yeah.
I've had one or two things go over my head here and there.
He knows what I'm talking about. Yep, went over my head.
That's too funny, Eva.
You know
what?
I think the part of just even the waves is enjoy life.
Oh,
I want to give that good closure that waves aren't always going to be a negative thing, that sometimes we need to laugh and enjoy the friendships that we have and the camaraderie.
No, they're not always dangerous waves. They're not always tsunamis, you know?
Yeah.
Just if you don't believe it, just go out to the beach and look at the waves. Look at the bathtub. Get in the bathtub, just move the water around. Sometimes it's very calm. What the heck was that? Hey, look.
That was my mixer. See, I got it working, Joel.
Hey, we're fixing that to close out our show. What time is your show? Your show airs today at...
In another, skip an hour. Y'all got an hour break before you come back on. And I've got
1 hour from now, that's going to be 6 o'clock Eastern.
Yes. My friend Lily is going to join me. And we're going to have an interesting discussion. I think you'll, it is kind of a hot topic. we're going to talk about kind of the right to life stuff. Don't want any haters out there, but it does have to do with a pain to purpose kind of, concept of things. So, just come and join us. It'll be, I think, an interesting conversation.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to close out with a quick prayer. And I want to just ask you to bow your heads if you're able to. And if not, just keep your eyes on the road or whatever you're doing. Let's be safe. But God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you'll make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. And look, we want to thank everybody again for being here. And we're going to be closing the show up. Remember, Military Broadcast Radio, giving veterans a voice. We're on MBR Talk on Facebook. We're YouTube. We're MBR Radio. There's a special app. Look at us, Military Broadcast Radio. Okay, and I'm about to press a button that we are done for the day. So we'll see you next week at 3 o'clock Central Time. That's 4 o'clock Eastern. Y'all have a good week.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.